Meta Materials is up by 25%, reaching a price of $2.08 on Monday's pre-market, indicating a short squeeze. So should you buy the stock? Stay focused as we go through recent news as well as my chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stox 101 for regular stock market updates. George Palikaras, who's the founder of the company, said through Twitter that the S1 form is now effective and sellers have 15 days from today to cover their positions up, which totals to over 80 million shares. This made MMTLP the most trending stock on Reddit and Twitter as people expect a 50x jump from the current price, since this filing will force brokerages to close all short positions as the company transitions from private to public. Once the squeeze is finished, people who profit from it intend to pour their profits into MMAT, which is MMTLP's other organization, and in our opinion, this will make both the stocks skyrocket and we might witness something bigger than AMC and GME. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the 1-day chart for MMAT, and we won't be analyzing MMTLP, we'll be analyzing MMAT instead, because this is the company that I believe will benefit more from this stuff. And of course, as you guys can see, we'll first analyze the 1-day chart, then the 1-hour chart, and to end it off, we'll get to the 5-minute chart. But right off the bat, we can see that we're already in a gap up in the pre-market, and the gap up is roughly 17 or 18%. Of course, at the time of making the video, at the time of making the previous part of this video, the gap up was around $2.05. So that, that was about 25% as I already reported. But, it has fallen since then. But if we first look at the long-term chart, right, we can see that the stock has fallen a lot. And over here, we can see that we've fallen from a high that we made over here of about $22 to the current price of about $2. So can we reach the price of $22 again? I honestly believe yes, right? But still, to be a bit modest, if you ask me what my price target is, of course, I don't really know how the fundamentals of this company are because I have not researched it yet as such, right? Of course, I'm making this video thanks to the short interest part only, right? Because, of course, a major short squeeze is coming up, but as for the fundamentals, let's quickly ignore them and just look at the short squeeze part. So if we were to only analyze the stock on the basis of the fact that we're about to get a short squeeze, we probably will reach the price of $10 if you ask me, right, by the end of the squeeze and the entire situation. Of course, once, the investors in MMTLP, right, or just the people that will benefit from this, once they pour their profits into MMAT, as we already discussed in the previous part, then of course I can see MMAT taking off as well, and I can see it taking off a long way, right? So we're talking 5x, 10x, even 50x returns. Of course, the people that bought it over here are probably really, really happy right now because they'll be getting like 30, 40, 50x returns, and that's crazy, honestly. And some people might even make a 100x gain out of this, right? So that's pretty much why we're comparing it to AMC and GME as well. Of course, if we look at resistance, we can see that we have a pretty psychological resistance at $2, $2.20. We have a support at 1.65. We have another support around 1.33, another support around 1.43, another support that, this is kind of the bottom that we made around 63 cents. We had a resistance around 75 cents, and somewhat of another common support and resistance around $1. That's of course justified, right? If we look at the earnings report over here, right, the stock's financials are pretty bad. We got a negative earnings report by 50%, a 32% negative revenue, right? So of course, even if we look over here at the earnings, we can see that we've even gotten what's that, a negative 1200% surprise, which is beyond fascinating in all the wrong ways. If we look over here, profit margins, a negative 2000%, negative 1200%. That's a lot of negative, margins. So of course the company is loss making, but if we look at the technicals, they're rating it a buy to a strong buy, right? This primarily is because of of course, the price movements, first up, right? And secondly, thanks to the short squeeze factor involved, right? So once we get through the short squeeze, will the stock dump? Well, we all know it will, right? So it's better that we probably enjoy this wave while we can, right? In my opinion, this is a great stock for trading and even holding in that sense. But I personally would rather buy the stock with a dedicated, or rather, um, what do you call it, predicted or expected target. So if I'm aiming at, let's say, a price of $10, right, as I already told you, that's my personal expectation, then I personally would trade in a way that, hey, if it hits $10, I'm exiting no matter what, right? I don't care if the stock goes up to $100. I got my profit, I'm exiting, right? I'm not taking the risk of losing all, unrealized gains. So it's always very risky yet rewarding to kind of set in the unrealized gains part. And that is why, I believe that the real risk in trading and investing lies in unrealized gains, right? Of course, you can realize your gains, of course, you can book your profits, losses, but what's the fun in that, right? We, we're traders, we're used to taking risks, and one such risk, of course, as we can already see, is MMAT. It's not exactly a risk at this point, it's kind of a no brainer if you ask me, not financial advice. But since we all know that it's going to short squeeze in the next 15 days, it's honestly worth a try, in my opinion, right? So, of course, I do see more people buying the stock, right? I do see more people getting interested in the stock. I do see more people becoming fans of the company, and hopefully, we might actually see the company actually get, better in a fundamental way as well. And hopefully, it will fix its financials in the coming time as well. So, let's see. Right? All hope is not lost. In my opinion, the company, if everything goes well, should be able to recover, get back on its feet. And once the entire short squeeze situation is done, right, that's when we'll see what exactly the company is going to do. But now let's analyze the stock in a bit more detail by getting into the 1 hour chart. So now that we're in the 1 hour chart, we can see a lot more detail about what's exactly going on over here. First up, let me tell you one thing. Since it's pretty much, I won't exactly call it a news factor, but it's a, right, it's not even a fundamental factor in that sense. I don't really know what to call it, but in the case of any short squeeze or any such thing, right, in a negative scenario, let's say a bubble or a fad is bursting, right, such scenarios, you can't really predict them with candlestick patterns or anything like that, because of course we can see that we got negative pin bar candles over here, so that would have predicted a downfall. But of course, with the news part, with the S1 filing, the stock is, of course, it's going up. And I do expect it to go higher. But if we look over here, of course, support levels in that matter will definitely matter, because as you guys already know, that once we get the stock to a good height, right, let's say even for the time being, let's assume that we get the stock to $4, and that's the tip, right? That's the highest that's going. Let's assume that for now. I'm not saying that will get resisted at 4, but let's say it gets resisted at 4, and a sell-off begins after that. That sell-off would mark the point when support and resistance levels come back into play. So you should mark some important levels like $2.2, right? $2.5, $2.8, $3, so on and so forth. So it usually goes in 20, 30, 20, 30 cent patterns, and that's how you recognize most support levels. But again, coming back to the pre-market, to analyze the pre-market chart, there's not much left in the 1 hour chart. So let's quickly jump onto the 5-minute chart so we can, get the extended hours as well, and then we'll see what's going on in the pre-market. So now that we're in the 5-minute chart, we can see the pre-market data clearly. And of course, we can see that we got up to a price over here, right? This was when I was making the first part of this video. So that's when we were at a price of 2.5 cents, or rather $2.05. I'm sorry for that, $2.05. We fell all the way down to $1.88. And after that, of course, we recovered with pretty much a, what do you call this? This is a higher low, right? So we made a higher low, so we're already in a bullish pattern. And now we're currently at a price of $2. Of course, we'll get a small resistance over there because $2, it's a psychological zone. If we look over here as well, we can see that the stock has pretty dry volumes. And, it's kind of justified because the company is really small. We have a 600 million market cap. And with that, of course, we will expect volumes to be a bit dry. If we talk about numbers, right, 500 shares traded, 800 shares traded, 2.2 thousand shares, 100 shares, 799, 3.5 thousand, right? Numbers like that. So those are pretty weak and dry volumes, but I do expect that to change. Like if you look over here, right, even in the pre-market itself, we're getting 8,000, 10,000 orders, right? 8,000 to 10,000 share orders. So that should help us out. Of course, volumes are one of the most important part in any stock. And if I were to predict what's going to happen today, in my opinion, we should probably stay over here a bit, right? I don't really see the stock crossing the level of $2.5 today. I believe that it will take some time, but of course, the stock will rally, it will get a massive boost. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I already told you my price prediction. I believe that the stock can hit a high of $10. And I don't really know the fundamentals of the company. That's why I won't comment on anything higher than that, or at least I won't expect anything higher than that. But I most definitely will make another video on this in the future, so you can subscribe to the channel for that. And then we'll be talking about that. But as you guys can see, the live market has started, and right off the bat, we've seen 18,000 shares traded as compared to the previous, what was this? This was 2.8 thousand shares traded. So we're already down a bit, $1.93. So we should probably get supported around this range again, $1.9, right? $1.9 and 1.67, even though I don't believe that we'll fall all the way down there, right? So with that, as you guys already know, this definitely was not financial advice. You should always do your own research, but if you enjoyed my analysis, be sure to hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, be sure to hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for more such videos, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one.